Now, if you've seen me out and about these past couple of weeks, you may have noticed I've been shuffling around awkwardly like John Wayne with a particularly bad case of piles. And that's because stuffed inside of my jeans, I've got, bloody hell, this whopping great chunkster right here, the Vivo X300 Ultra. And ludicrously large it may well be, but the Vivo X300 Ultra boasts some of the most impressive and special camera tech in 2026. There's certainly a proper upgrade over the Vivo X300 Pro, still one of my favourite smartphones launched last year. Now do note I have been testing out the Chinese model, this isn't the global version which hasn't officially launched yet. But thankfully you can activate Google services and download the Play Store easily enough, so at least there's no awkward sideloading shenanigans if you want to play games, watch a bit of Netflix, etc. It's meant I've been able to give that camera tech a thoroughly bloody good testing. So here's what I reckon of the Vivo X300 Ultra. And for more on the latest and greatest and chunkiest tech, please do poke subscribe, ding that notifications bell. Cheers! Now, how do I put this politely? Actually, I don't think I can. The Vivo X300 Ultra is just a massive f***ing brick. And somehow even girthier than the already pretty chunky Vivo X300 Pro, and that's before you even begin to factor in that camera bump, which pretty much doubles the thickness. And he ain't just a thick boy, the Vivo X300 Ultra also a proper heifer at 232 grams. Not only that, but also really slippery as well, so I'm actually quite glad you got that bloody enormous camera bump right there to act as a sort of handy finger shelf. And actually keep this thing pretty stable when you are using it one-handed, because otherwise I'd be dropping this bloody thing every 5 minutes. And that's before I've even had a face full of whiskey. But if you actually attempt to squeeze this thing into your skinny jeans, well, chances are you'll never have children, which to be fair, some would count as a positive. You got yourself a pre-installed screen protector, you got yourself an aluminium frame which is still in perfect nick, as is that glass back. And it comes with a matte finish which is pleasingly smudge resistant. You can have a proper full-on kebab grease hands and no worries. And hopefully you can just about make out there's actually quite a subtle patterned effect from about this point upwards. It's pretty low-key, but it is giving off some serious Hawaiian bathroom tile vibes. It's actually possibly supposed to be some sort of mountain rangey arty effect, which is pretty apt given the enormous friggin' camera bump. But anyway, the phone seems pretty rugged so far. I've certainly had it stashed in pockets with other phones and everything. As I say, no nicks or scuffs or anything thus far. And it's also IP68 and IP69 water, dust and spurt resistant, which again is kind of what you would expect from any kind of flagship, let alone an Ultra phone. Now on the software side of things, what you got slapped on the Vivo X300 Ultra is a good bit of OriginOS 6, just like the other X300 phones. And I actually already shot a full-length video on OriginOS 6 and its various quirks and the best features and all those bits. So if you want to hear me banging on about the software side of things, definitely go check that out if you're not already sick of my weirdly egg-shaped head. I won't dive too much into the software here on this X300 Ultra as it is the Chinese model, not the global one, so there will be obvious differences. But as I say, I managed to activate Google services and get the Play Store on this bad boy rather easily, no awkward fumbling. So I've been able to download all of my usual apps because this version comes absolutely stacked with all kinds of random Chinese shenanigans. I do especially adore the weird Chinese news feed, which replaces the Google Discover feed. Now this is equal parts mesmerizing and terrifying. I've got no idea what any of these stories are about, but I really bloody wish I did. Like, is this guy here, is he recreating Taxi Driver? And Pissed Up Monkeys as well. Not sure the RSPCA would approve, but he seems to be enjoying himself. Now the display tech doesn't appear to have changed up much compared with last year's Vivo X200 Ultra. It's once again a cracking 6.8-inch AMOLED display. 1440p resolution, so nice and crispy despite the gargantuan size. Absolutely stunning contrast. You've got HDR10, HDR10 Plus and Dolby Vision streaming support in the likes of Netflix. Proper inky blacks, nice crispy whites, fairly vibrant tones overall. Well, if you're after super rich colors, you can always choose the bright modes here in the screen settings. You've got up to 144Hz refresh rate support for games that can actually do that. Otherwise, 120Hz refresh, of course, as standard, and a whole bunch of eye comfort and protection shenanigans, including all of the usual AI gubbins. You've got anti-fatigue brightness and a good bit of PWM dimming as well if you are sensitive to that OLED flicker. And naturally, it's a stereo speaker setup here on the Vivo X300 Ultra, though the bottom mounted speaker does do most of the legwork. There's still a reasonably balanced bit of audio. Not the loudest blasters around, that's for sure. Some alternatives like the S26 Ultra can go louder, but still loud enough to cut through fairly obnoxious background noise. And the clarity stays strong even when you max out that volume, so you can clearly hear vocals. Good separation, pretty decent bass. I've had bugger all issues with the Bluetooth streaming either. As for the performance, well, of course, you can't really call yourself an ultra smartphone if you're not powered by one of the best chipsets around, namely the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5. It's backed here in my review sample by 16 lovely gigs of RAM. So of course, every day running absolutely fine, and if you are a gamer, yes, naturally the Vivo X300 Ultra more than up to the task. Even with rather demanding, crappily optimized titles like Wuthering Waves, you can still bump up those graphics settings, they're on the maxed out levels, and expect a silky smooth frame rate throughout. And that almighty screen offers quite the view of the action, perfectly responsive for these fast-paced titles. I did notice that the Vivo X300 Ultra started to get a wee bit hot under the collar after around 30 to 40 minutes of gaming. Although thankfully I didn't notice any throttling of that performance even when I continued to game for well over an hour, and it never got uncomfortable to clutch. Now, if you jump on into the Vivo X300 Ultra's settings and scroll down a wee bit, you'll notice there's the Ultra Game mode on here. This is where you can switch on various features, including the likes of game super resolution, although only certain titles are supported there. There's even less for the frame interpolation. You can yank out the old gaming toolbar at any point with a quick swipe from the side like so. As far as the performance modes go, I left it in boost the entire time I was playing Wuthering Waves because it is a bit of a memory sucker. But in here you can tweak the likes of the brightness levels, the touch sampling rate, you go to game tools, you've got tons of stuff in here. Do not disturb, of course. You get a bit of live streaming on the go if you fancy it. And also a bit of bypass battery action if you need to juice up the Vivo X300 Ultra while you're gaming. You don't want to get it even toastier than it already is. And speaking of that battery, the Vivo X300 Ultra sports a 6600 mAh cell. Good old silicon carbon tech, of course, and that is slightly bigger, the capacity, compared with the Pro model. And I found that even if I'm absolutely rinsing that camera, I still happily made it through a proper long intensive day on just a single charge every time. It's barely even scraping the battery saver mode most days. Now again, if you're into your gaming, well, if you put it on that boost mode, max out all the graphics and everything, you can expect around 4 hours of Wuthering Waves action on a full 100% charge. Got to admit, I was expecting a slightly longer result than that, but it's still slightly above average, not too shabby. Hey, when you bung a cable in its bottom, it still charges up rather damn fast as well. You've got 100 watt wired charging support on here once again, so about 45-ish minutes at the plug will be enough to fully charge it if it is practically drained. And you've also got 40 watt wireless charging support. But hey, now it's time for the bit of the video that no doubt about 80% of people have skipped forward to. Hello, welcome back. Let's round off this Vivo X300 Ultra review by banging on about the camera tech. Now, this generation comes with a big old upgrade for the main sensor, which is now the rather bloody massive 200 megapixel 1/1.12 inch Sony Lightyear 901. And you've also got yourself a fresh 200 meg telephoto snapper using Samsung's ISOCELL HPO sensor. That's with a 3.7 times optical zoom, 85mm. As for the 50 megapixel ultra wide angle shooter using another sizable Sony sensor, the 1/1.28 inch Lightyear 818, well, that's unchanged from the previous generation. And you will notice that there's absolutely bugger all dedicated physical camera buttons slapped on the edge of the Vivo X300 Ultra, which I'm certainly not going to get all depressed about because frankly, they're almost always a massive pile of cack. And certainly if you shoot mostly in landscape mode, like I do, they're just kind of weirdly positioned far too into that frame, make for more awkward fingering than the toilets at a school prom. Now, images are processed with some legwork from Vivo's own VS1 Plus imaging chip. And as always, with a choice of filters as well, set to vivid by default, which you can tweak with a quick swipe of the old finger like so. Otherwise, if you prefer a more natural sort of vibe where you do have an authentic mode, and the regular 35mm lens is a wee bit more zoomed in compared with most other smartphone cameras, which lends itself really well to portrait shots. And I found that whether I used this or the telephoto lens, I almost always got impressive results with a lovely bokeh style separation to really help your subject to stand out. And even if they can't bloody keep still, the Vivo X300 Ultra isn't flummoxed, usually does a banging job, unlike some other Ultra branded rivals from the likes of, say, Samsung. And in fact, even if you forget to turn on the Action Pro Sports mode, usually the X300 Ultra can still cope fine. Though if you are shooting in low light, you will notice some motion blur as the shutter speed drops. But night snaps are otherwise very impressive indeed. Plenty of detail accurately captured, along with realistic tones and very little noise. And all of that without artificially brightening the scene, again like some rivals. And when it comes to that telephoto shooter, well, I'm about to start gushing like a pensioner's wife runs after 12 pints of bitter. Because that zoom action is right up there with the very best blowers in 2026. Whatever conditions you're facing, the Vivo X300 Ultra can capture sharp, detailed pics even at quite a distance. And that's even compared with rivals boasting a greater optical zoom. And despite the switch from Sony to Samsung sensors, the color reproduction doesn't take a hit. And as for the ultra-wide shooter, well, that's as good as before. You certainly won't need to sacrifice detail or color accuracy to cram more into frame. And when you swap to video, that's where things start to get a wee bit mental. You can boost the resolution to 8K 30 frames per second if you want, but I kept it at 4K, can actually chuck the frame rate up to 120 frames per second and keep Dolby Vision HDR switched on and still use all three of those lenses. And yes, if you want to, there is a full pro video mode, just like there's a full pro camera mode as well, so you can mess around with the likes of the shutter speed, the ISO levels, the white balance. You've got all kinds of shenanigans you can play around with here. You can shoot in log as well, again at 4K resolution at 120 frames per second across all three sensors. And those visuals usually stay crispy even when you punch in using that telephoto shooter. You can expect nice punchy, bold colors in good daylight, and the focus works well to keep your subject sharp if they are moving about. Unfortunately, the audio is easily balked by a bit of wind. You do have some AI shenanigans trying to rectify it, but tends to just make everything garbled. And at nighttime and in more ambient light, the detail levels do drop quite significantly. But as long as the conditions are okay, generally the Vivo X300 Ultra, bit of a banger for your home movies. And if you missed my shorts all about it, the X300 Ultra also supports an optional photographer's kit, which is frankly off its tits. This adds in either a 200mm or a 400mm extender lens, as well as a proper grip with a built-in battery and loads of bonus controls. And I am hoping to shoot a full review of all of that shenanigans at some point, but frankly I find it quite cumbersome carrying all that extra kit around and awkwardly swapping lenses in and out and all that kind of shenanigans. I'm not really sure what the point of it is. And if you are into your bit of vlogging, well, good news, because the Vivo X300 Ultra's selfie camera supports 4K resolution video at up to 60 frames per second. No, there's no 120 frames per second. That would be a bit weird for a selfie cam anyway. And again, gorgeous visuals, even in quite soft light, you still get some pretty decent picture quality, and the audio pickup's generally fine, again, as long as things aren't too gusty. And there you have it, my lovelies. That in a tasty wee nutshell is what I reckon of the Vivo X300 Ultra. Now, as I say, it should be going global soon, so hopefully be able to pick it up in Europe. Usually Vivo phones don't tend to do quite well here in Blighty. They don't tend to make it to these shores. We'll find out when it actually launches, but certainly so far absolutely loving that camera tech and the rest of the phone as well. You know, it's a beefy blower as you'd expect from an ultra smartphone. Battery life is excellent. I'm hopelessly addicted to that absolutely batshit mental news feeds, which honestly I could just scroll through this for days even though I've got no idea what any of it means. Anyway, that's what this northern old knacker reckons. Be great to hear your thoughts on the Vivo X300 Ultra down below. Hoping to do a full side-by-side with this and certain other ultra smartphones really soon. So if you're interested in all that shenanigans, please do subscribe, ding that notifications bell, and have yourselves a ruddy, wonderful rest of the week. Cheers everybody, love you!